Imagine you accidentally get stuck in a dense forest during a trip. So you reach for your phone, only to find there is no signal or available compasses for you to reach your direction. There are no signs, no landmarks, or clear paths. There was no one around to guide you. And that moment when you lose your sense of direction, it is one of the most uncomfortable and disorienting experiences a human person can go through. And it's not just about feeling lost, it's about losing that sense of clarity and control over where you're headed. Good morning, everyone. My name is Zaynab Shahab. And just like many of you, I have grown up in a world that is constantly moving forward. What if I told you that many of us are living like this every single day? Lost. And it's not just in a forest, it is in our daily lives. And we live in an era of extraordinary advancement. Technology moves at an unprecedented rate. Artificial intelligence performs complex tasks. Communication occurs in between of continents in a matter of seconds. Information is now readily available than ever before. Yet beneath all this progress, a quiet and concerning crisis unfolds. Research published in the Personality and Social Review found that empathetic concern among American college students has declined significantly, with levels about 40% lower in recent years compared to the late 1970s. Values such as empathy, patience, gratitude, and humility are fading into the background of our lives. And this leads to increased isolation, loneliness, and stress within ourselves and society. And so what I'm trying to say is, in a world which is obsessed with just moving forward, are we losing the values that are supposed to show us which direction we're supposed to move in? And this is not merely an emotional observation or a philosophical idea. To further elaborate, the World Health Organization found that 1 in 7 adolescents aged between 10 to 19 years experience a mental disorder, with depression and anxiety among the leading causes of illness within this age group. And see, this is where the conversation usually goes wrong. And I know you will blame technology. You will blame social media. You will blame the younger generations. But the real question is, what are we becoming in response to these stimuli? And what have we stopped practicing? Because values are not personality traits you are born with. They are your true north. Values are more like muscles. They require resistance to develop. Empathy requires sitting with discomfort long enough to just feel it, not just acknowledge it. Patience requires remaining present with something unresolved. Humility requires a genuine encounter with a perspective that completely challenges yours. Gratitude requires slowing down and noticing what you already have. And I've been fortunate enough to learn these values growing up. I watched my parents treat people with respect regardless of their position or status. They taught me how to be grateful for what I have, to remain patient during difficult times, and to show kindness towards others. Most importantly, they demonstrated humility through their actions, reminding me that no matter how hard life gets, no matter how much you achieve, there is always someone you can help. And as I reflect on their example, I realize that the lessons that they taught me are more relevant today than ever before. The world needs more empathy in place of impatience, more gratitude in place of entitlement, and more humility in place of arrogance. And this is what will lead to peace around the world. Now, here's where I want to push further than most conversations go. Because I do not believe that the solution is a digital detox or a screen time limit. And I don't think the problem's solution is that complex at all. See, ancient Rome did not assume clean water would reach its citizens on its own. They engineered aqueducts. We did not assume the problem of mobility would fix itself. We built roads. And we did not think that knowledge would just pass on to the future generations on its own. We built schools. And so how could we have assumed that values would just naturally pass on to future generations through families, communities, or lived experiences? And for most of human history, maybe they did. But the conditions have changed faster than our assumptions have caught up. So instead of just assuming things would just fix themselves, we should start taking responsibility of our own actions and finding out ways in which we can develop and practice these values in our day-to-day lives. We should start searching for our true north. True north in navigation is not the same as magnetic north. Magnetic north shifts. It responds to interference. It can throw off your compass, which is the very instrument you use to find it. True north is fixed. It does not move with any noise. And we today live in an age of enormous magnetic interference. Algorithms, AI, social pressure, information overload, all of them are constantly just pulling at the needle. And most of us are navigating by magnetic because we think that it's easier, it is immediate, and it feels accurate enough. But there's another kind of north, and it does not show up on a screen or update in real time. It is the set of values that tell you who you are when no one is watching, what you owe to people you will never meet, what you are quietly building for yourself and your future through the choices that you make, and whether you will make those same choices when no one else is watching. And so by now, you're probably thinking, wow, I want to reclaim my own true north. And so how do we do it? See, it does not take big actions. It just takes small steps. You can pause before reacting, listen before judging, and appreciate before complaining. And these are not values from another era. These are the very architecture of the future you are trying to build for yourself. And unlike a melting glacier or a fracturing institution, these are within your entire control to rebuild. Because there's something called neuroplasticity. It is the brain's ability to constantly rewire itself based on experience. Every thought we repeat, every behavior we practice, every emotion we reinforce becomes stronger, while we neglect becomes to fade. This means we start reshaping our minds through what we choose to think about and what we do every single day. So the real question isn't, what is wrong with society? The real question is, what are we repeatedly practicing? Because if we want to build stronger families, better workplaces, and healthier communities, we must not allow these values to fade or disappear. Instead, we must actively practice and pass them on to our future generations. Because one day, all of us will find ourselves in that very same forest. We all will be lost. We all will be confused, and we all will be searching for our compass. And it won't be technology that guides us. It will be our values, and they will be our true north. Because values are our direction. Progress gives us speed, but values give us direction. True north is not something we find. It is something we train ourselves to follow. Thank you.